Groovy English Podcast.
Hey there! Welcome back to Groovy English. I'm Chloe.
And I'm Aiden. We share real stories, useful tips, and everyday English to help you grow with confidence.
Wherever you are in your English learning journey, we're glad you're here.
If you're enjoying the podcast, feel free to like, subscribe, or share it with a friend. Let's get started.
Hello, Groovy English listeners, and welcome back to another heartfelt episode of the Groovy English Podcast. I'm Sarah, and today we're going to explore something deeply personal and, for many of us, very real. The topic is learning English when you're emotionally drained. Let's be honest, learning a new language can be hard. But trying to learn when you're already emotionally exhausted, that can feel almost impossible. Maybe you're dealing with stress at work or school, going through relationship struggles, or facing uncertainty about the future. Whatever it is, it makes even simple tasks feel heavy. And studying English might be the last thing you want to do. So in this episode, I'm not going to give you a list of vocabulary or grammar tips. Instead, I want to talk about how to keep moving forward in your English journey, gently and compassionately, even when your emotional energy is running low. First, let's acknowledge this truth. It's okay to feel drained. You're human. You don't need to pretend everything is fine. The first step is to remove the guilt. If you've missed a few days of studying or if your progress has slowed, that doesn't mean you're lazy. It means you're going through something real. When we feel emotionally overwhelmed, our brains have less capacity to take in and retain information. So, what can we do? One of the most powerful shifts is to change our focus from performance to presence. Instead of thinking, I need to learn 20 new words today, try asking, how can I stay gently connected to English today? That might mean watching a 5-minute video in English while you eat breakfast. Or listening to an English song while walking your dog. It doesn't have to be intense. It just has to feel doable. The goal is not perfection. It's consistency and kindness toward yourself. Another thing that helps during emotional lows is switching from output to input. When you're drained, it's hard to produce language. Speaking or writing in English might feel too much. That's okay. Focus on listening and reading instead. These are still powerful forms of learning. Podcasts, audiobooks, short articles, they can be comforting and effective. Also, this is the perfect time to bring in English content that feels nurturing. Don't force yourself to read the news or study technical articles if it makes you feel worse. Watch comforting shows or YouTube channels in English. Listen to podcasts that calm you. Let English be a safe space, not a stressful task. Sometimes, emotional exhaustion comes from feeling isolated. And language learning can feel like a very lonely process. But here's the good news, it doesn't have to be. Find small ways to connect. Join a supportive English learning group online. Leave a comment on a language video. Send a voice message to a language partner. These small interactions can help you feel seen and motivated. I also want to talk about expectations. During tough times, lower them. That might sound counterproductive, but it's actually wise. If you normally study for an hour a day, it's okay to cut it down to 10 minutes. If you usually write a page in your journal, try just one sentence. The point is to stay connected without burning out. And let's not forget about physical care. Sleep, nutrition, and movement all affect your emotional state and your brain's ability to learn. You don't have to overhaul your whole lifestyle, but even small steps help. Drink water. Stretch. Take a nap. These things are not separate from language learning. They support it. One trick I use is pairing English with self-care. For example, I might light a candle, make some tea, and then read a short English story. Or I'll listen to a calming English podcast while doing a face mask. These small rituals make learning feel like a treat, not a chore. Another helpful idea is to revisit content you already know. When we're emotionally low, our brains crave familiarity. Rewatch your favorite English video or reread a book you enjoyed. You don't always have to be pushing forward. Sometimes, staying in a comfortable zone is exactly what you need. Gratitude is another tool. It might feel hard, but if you can, try writing down one thing you're grateful for about your English journey. Maybe it's a new word you learned. Maybe it's the confidence you felt ordering coffee in English. These small moments matter. Celebrate them. And here's something else: speak kindly to yourself. A lot of us have a harsh inner voice that says things like, "You should be better by now," or "Why are you so slow?" Try to replace that with, "I'm doing the best I can," or "It's okay to go slow." I know some of you might be wondering, what if I lose my progress? But the truth is, language is sticky. Once you've built a foundation, it doesn't disappear overnight. Even if you take a break, you won't go back to zero. In fact, taking a step back can sometimes give your brain time to process and absorb. Now, let's talk about journaling. Keeping an English journal can be very therapeutic. You don't need to write perfect sentences. Just write how you feel, even if it's a mix of English and your native language. The act of expressing yourself, however simple, can be incredibly healing. Another thing I recommend is mantras. Choose a short phrase in English that suits you. Something like, "I am learning at my own pace," or "Every day is progress." Repeat it to yourself, out loud or in your mind. Let English become part of your self-care language. Sometimes, emotional exhaustion can feel like you're underwater, and every movement, every effort, feels heavier than it should. That includes learning. It's important to remind yourself that the mental load you're carrying is real, and it's okay if your progress slows down. Progress doesn't have to be fast. It just has to keep going. One technique I use when I feel this way is simplifying my goals. Instead of saying, "I'll study English for an hour," I tell myself, "I'll listen to one 5-minute podcast." Sometimes that's all I do, and that's enough. Other times, that 5-minute goal turns into 15 minutes or more, simply because I removed the pressure. Another helpful mindset. Stop measuring yourself against your best days. When you're emotionally tired, your best today might look different than your best last month. And that's not failure. That's adapting to your current reality. Don't underestimate the power of routine. Even if your heart isn't fully in it, keeping a simple habit, like watching a short video in English every morning, can anchor you when the rest of life feels out of control. Think of it as brushing your teeth. You don't always feel like doing it, but it helps maintain your well-being. When you're emotionally drained, your brain is working hard just to manage stress. That means you might have less brain space for language learning. So what do? We adapt. We switch from active learning, like writing essays or memorizing vocabulary, to passive exposure, listening to stories, watching shows, or reading short, simple texts. One thing I love is rewatching my favorite shows or YouTube videos in English. The content is familiar, so it doesn't take a lot of energy to follow along, but I still get exposure to the language. I'm not straining to understand. I'm just soaking it in. You can also try English journaling light. That means writing one sentence a day in English. Yes, just one. Maybe something like, I'm tired, but I'm proud I showed up today. It keeps you connected to the language without overwhelming you. Another underrated trick is talking to yourself. I know, it sounds a little silly, but hear me out. When you're walking, cooking, or getting ready for bed, try narrating your actions in English. I'm brushing my teeth. The water is warm. It's not perfect practice, but it helps your brain stay connected to the language in low-effort ways. And let's not forget emotional expression. Sometimes, when we're drained, it's because we're holding too much inside. Try expressing those emotions in English, even if you don't have all the words. I feel heavy. I don't know why. But I'm still learning. That's powerful. That's healing. Think of English not just as a skill, but as a space. A quiet space. A tool that can give you a sense of control or calm. When everything else feels chaotic, 5 minutes of English, just for you, can become a small act of care. Don't forget to celebrate the smallest wins. Read one sentence. That's a win. Watched a video and understood one new word. Another win. Emotional exhaustion makes us overlook progress because we're focused on survival. But the little things add up. I also recommend changing your environment. If you usually study at a desk, try the couch. Light a candle. Make tea. Create a soft, forgiving space for your learning. Your emotional state is fragile, don't force productivity. Invite comfort instead. Music can also be a gentle entry point. Try listening to English songs with lyrics you can follow. Don't worry about understanding every word. Just let the rhythm and emotion wash over you. You're still learning, even when it doesn't feel like it. If you're going through something difficult, grief, anxiety, burnout, your focus will naturally decrease. So shorten your sessions. Make your learning bite-sized. That way, you still show up, but you respect your limits. And remember, taking breaks isn't quitting. Taking breaks is listening. Listening to your body, your emotions, your needs. When you rest intentionally, you return stronger. One thing that helps me personally. Gratitude. It sounds cheesy, I know, but when I pause to say, I'm grateful I have access to learning, it shifts something inside me. It reminds me that English isn't a burden. It's a gift. One I can open slowly. Sometimes, emotional exhaustion is a sign to return to joy. Ask yourself, what made English fun for you at the beginning? Was it music? TV shows? Funny expressions? Reconnect with that joy. It's still there. It's waiting. If you don't have the energy to learn new things, review old ones. Review a vocabulary list. Rewatch an old lesson. It's comforting, and it still strengthens your memory. There's no shame in repetition. It's one of the most powerful learning tools. Sometimes, emotional exhaustion comes from things that feel unrelated to English, family issues, health, work stress, or even just the daily pressure of life. But all those things affect how you show up to learn. That's why being kind to yourself is not optional, it's essential. Many learners I've worked with feel guilty when they're too tired to study. They say things like, "I wasted today," or "I should have tried harder." But guilt is heavy. It doesn't help you learn. Let it go. Replace it with gentleness. Say, "I did what I could." That's enough. If you need something light and comforting, try watching animated shows or children's programs in English. They're designed to be easy to follow, repetitive, and expressive. When you're emotionally tired, that kind of simplicity can be a relief. On the flip side, maybe you want distraction. Something that pulls your attention away from your emotions. That's okay too. Try watching a documentary or an English drama that captivates your mind, even if you only understand 70% of it. Learning happens through exposure. When energy is low, switching to input mode can be the perfect compromise. That means listening and reading, not speaking or writing. You're still absorbing the language, but in a way that doesn't demand much from you. And when you're ready, output mode, writing or speaking, can be a healing tool. Even just saying one sentence about how you feel can help you process it emotionally and linguistically. I feel empty. I don't want to study, but I'm here. That counts as English practice. Remember, fluency is not built in one day. It's built in the tiny decisions you make, especially when life gets hard. Choosing to do something, however small, is powerful. It means you didn't give up on yourself. You may also want to revisit your why. Why did you start learning English? Was it to connect? To create more opportunities? To tell your story? Reconnecting with your purpose can bring back motivation, even in difficult times. Try using English as a form of comfort, not just study. For example, listen to affirmations in English. Find meditations, bedtime stories, or soft-spoken content that soothes your nervous system while giving you gentle language exposure. There's also value in silence. If you're too drained to even listen, give yourself full permission to rest. Your brain needs quiet time to process and recover. And when you return to English, you'll do it with more clarity. You might consider creating a low-pressure routine. Maybe you pick 3 simple activities to rotate through when you're tired. Watch one video, listen to a podcast, or read a short article. Don't overthink it. Just press play, and let the language come to you. If you struggle with focus, try the 5-minute trick. Set a timer. Tell yourself, "I'll just study for 5 minutes." Often, starting is the hardest part. And if you truly stop after 5 minutes, that's still a win. There are also times when emotional exhaustion comes with loneliness. If that's the case, joining an English community, online or offline, can be a light in the dark. Just being around others who share your goal can bring back hope. Learning a language is deeply personal. And when you're emotionally drained, your learning becomes even more sensitive. That's not weakness, that's depth. You're not just memorizing words. You're doing something meaningful in the middle of your struggle. Sometimes, what you need isn't motivation. It's permission. Permission to slow down. To not be perfect. To rest. To learn gently. And to trust that your English journey will still move forward. You might keep a small, emotional English journal. Each day, write one line, how you feel, what you did, what you need. In English, even if the grammar isn't perfect, it becomes a tool for reflection and language growth. Try speaking aloud, even if no one is listening. Say your thoughts in English. Don't worry about fluency. Talk like you would to a kind friend. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Visual learning can also help when you're emotionally tired. Flashcards with images, illustrated books, or English comics can spark your brain without overwhelming it. Light, visual content gives you something to focus on without draining your emotions further. Last but not least, remind yourself that this is a season. It will pass. You won't feel this tired forever. And when your energy returns, you'll be amazed that you kept going, at your own pace, in your own way. And that persistence, that quiet resilience, that's what makes you a real language learner. Not perfection. Not speed. But the ability to show up, even when it's hard. That's what makes you strong. Even listening to music in English can be therapeutic. Choose soft, calming songs with lyrics you enjoy. Let them play in the background while you rest, journal, or take a walk. Without effort, your brain will begin to absorb pronunciation, rhythm, and vocabulary. You can also try what I call sleep mode learning. This isn't about memorizing while you sleep, don't worry. It's simply about listening to something gentle in English before bed. It sets the tone for your subconscious to stay connected to the language while you rest. If journaling feels like too much, try labeling your feelings. Even one word, like tired, worried, or okay, can help you track your emotional state and practice English vocabulary at the same time. Try to let go of the all or nothing mindset. You don't need to study for an hour every day to make progress. Even 2 to 3 minutes of focused listening, or reading one paragraph in English, can help your brain stay connected. It all adds up. You can also use English to reflect on your day. At night, say or write, "Today I felt," or "One thing that helped me today was." It becomes a daily habit that blends emotional awareness with language learning. Some learners create vision boards or mood boards with English labels. This can be a fun, creative activity that supports both emotional healing and vocabulary development. No pressure, just play. If English starts to feel like pressure, pause and ask yourself, how can I make this fun again? Maybe it's time to rewatch a favorite movie with subtitles or play a language learning game. Even fun counts as progress. There's also value in returning to what feels familiar. Rereading an English story you already know can be calming. You won't have to work as hard to understand, and that ease can feel like a gentle win. You may want to record yourself speaking softly in English, just for you. It could be your thoughts, a short message to your future self, or a mantra like, "I am learning. I am healing." I am enough. It's a form of self-compassion through language. You know, one thing I've noticed is that we often compare ourselves to others, especially online. We see someone posting perfect notes, fluent speech, or daily study routines, and we think, why can't I be like that? But here's the truth, we don't see their struggles, their low energy days, or the moments when they felt like giving up. It's okay if your journey looks different. Instead of comparison, try connection. Find someone who's also learning English and exchange short messages. It doesn't have to be deep or perfect, just as simple, "How was your day?" or "What are you learning lately?" That tiny interaction can remind you that you're not alone. Another powerful yet gentle tool is gratitude journaling, yes, even in English. You can write one thing you're thankful for each day. I'm grateful for my morning tea. I'm grateful for sunshine. This practice helps reframe your focus and also reinforces simple, real English. Sometimes when we're drained, it's not just about exhaustion, it's also about feeling unseen. But using English to express even a tiny part of what you feel can be empowering. It gives shape to your emotions and allows you to process them. If you're a visual learner, doodling while listening to English can be calming. Your hands are busy, your ears are tuned in, and your mind gets a break from constant effort. It's not about being productive, it's about gentle exposure without pressure. Audiobooks are another gentle way to learn. Choose a story you enjoy or one you already know. Let the narrator guide you. You can lie down, close your eyes, and listen, no note-taking required. Just let the language wash over you like a calming stream. Repetition is your friend when you're emotionally tired. You don't need new content every day. Revisiting the same podcast, the same short video, the same page from a book, that can actually help reinforce learning and bring a sense of comfort and stability. You might try setting micro goals. Not study for 30 minutes, but read one English sentence, or listen to one phrase and repeat it. These are achievable even on tough days, and they help you build trust with yourself. Remember to celebrate tiny wins. Finished a 1-minute video. That's a win. Understood a new word in context. Win. Said one full sentence in English today. Big win. Emotional exhaustion might slow you down, but it can't stop you unless you stop acknowledging your progress. Remind yourself often, this is not forever. Your energy will return. Your motivation will grow again. And when it does, you'll realize that even during your lowest moments, you were still growing. Quietly, gently, and powerfully. Lastly, please don't isolate yourself. Talk to friends, even just one. Share your feelings. Let them know you're struggling. You'd be surprised how many people will say, "Me too." That connection makes all the difference. Remember that language is a connection. Even when you're feeling low, staying connected to English can remind you that you're not alone. You're part of a global community. And I'm right here with you, cheering you on.
Your English is shining brighter by the minute. Hit that next video to keep leveling up your skills. Or dive into our other episodes for more secrets to talk like a pro. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to join the Groovy English crew.